And then so Lord Mormont goes into a speech, which is, I guess, flattering and not flattering to the recruits at the same time.
Yeah, right.
It's like, you came to us as rapists and murderers and thieves and scumbags and pieces of shit.
Yep.
And you're still all that, but you're also men of the Night's Watch now.
Yeah. Yep.
Warning, the following show will spoil the hell out of George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire books and the TV show A Game of Thrones. Also, you're probably going to find a fuck ton of bad language. The explicit tag is there for a reason.
Death and boobies, 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 death and boobies.
Hello and welcome back to the Ironwood Network Book Club. I'm your host, Lady Wyvern, and with me today is Maester Ironwood. Widow Wolfsbane is unable to attend the recording session with us today.
Fucking slackers.
She's a busy girl.
Fucking slackers, I tell ya.
Well, you know, just because you don't have to leave your house to do the recording doesn't mean other people have the same luxury.
Fair enough, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so yes, we are here. We're gonna hit this one just a twosome instead of a threesome, like normal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit more boring.
But maybe more informative.
Maybe, yeah.
Because the last time it was just me and you, I think the episode was much more informative than usual.
Yeah, well, that's because I'm allowed to speak now.
This is true. You are allowed to talk. All right, so what are we here to break down today?
It's John 6.
John 6.
I know in the
Thrones.
last recording we called it John 5, but we were off a little bit. Just a little bit.
Amazingly, once again, the show that talks about dick jokes more than anything else got something wrong.
Well, you know, we're not perfect. We're human. At least we're entertaining, right?
Yep. So we got John 6. Which is a pretty cool chapter.
Yeah, they're graduating today.
Important stuff going on.
A lot of stuff to talk about in this chapter.
A lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of theory crafting. A lot of important things going on in the John chapter here. So.
See, I love Widow, but I can theory craft a lot more when she's not here. Because she comes up with all this ridiculous stuff that I can't wrap my head around, and then she ruins it for me. Yeah.
We'll just call it nonsense.
Yeah. Sure, we'll go with that.
All right, so which one of us wants to do a synopsis?
Well, you're going to have to do it for me.
I am?
Yeah.
Okay, so we start off with Jon breaking his fast.
Why can't they just say eating breakfast?
Well, that's what breakfast comes from, is breaking your fast.
Oh. And the fast is where you don't eat. Okay.
Overnight. You don't eat your fast overnight.
Yeah.
That's where breakfast comes from.
You know, it's only taken me 28 years to figure that out.
So we'll add that to athletic supporters and other things that you have just figured out.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so Jon is breaking his fast, and Samwell joins him and is very excited. He's been told that he is going to graduate. He made it. He's going to become a member of the Night's Watch. Awesome.
Not that he really deserves it.
I think he does deserve it. I think Jon was 100% correct.
Oh, I didn't say Jon wasn't correct. I just think...
Right, so he does deserve it because, yes, he's not a sword fighter, but he has other valuable skills that the Night's Watch needs.
Yeah, it's very high-in-demand attributes.
Yes, that not many people there have. So
yes.
So Jon plays it off like, oh, I didn't realize you'd be graduating. That's fantastic, Sam. So then he's like, yep, I've been summoned to the Sept with the rest of you to hear from the Lord Commander. Is it time to go yet? Because I don't want to be late in case they change their mind.
He's like a kid waiting to go to the theme park.
Yeah.
It's not raining, is it? I can still go.
Yeah, exactly. So him and Jon head off to the meeting at the Sept with the other kids who are graduating.
Kids. They're all kids.
Lord Commander Mormont's there. Douchey Alistair Thorne is there.
They're all there, yeah.
And then the heads of the three different groups, the stewards, the builders, and the rangers are there.
Yep.
And Lord Commander Mormont gives them a speech and informs them which of the three groups they'll each be joining. Jon is
taken aback.
He is a little upset, to say the least.
To say the least.
That he's been made a steward and not a ranger, because as Pip puts it later on, being a steward is fine for the likes of you and I, Sam, but not for Lord Snow.
Yes.
And he is thinking about just fucking abandoning the Night's Watch and heading home, which I think smart move, probably should do.
Probably.
Since Catelyn ain't never gonna be, Catelyn is never gonna be there again.
Catelyn.
So, go on home. Help Rob.
He doesn't know she's not there, though.
I know he doesn't, but... Well, they might have gotten news by now that, like, Catelyn has taken Tyrion hostage and, like, the realm is on the brink of war. They might have word of that up there.
Well, I know they get newspapers up there every so often, but I don't think they get, like, what's going on in each house.
No, but that's not just, like, house news. That's, like...
Realm news.
Yeah.
So it should be on the front page of the newspaper.
I'm sure that a Raven came in with that information up there.
Yeah, but Jon doesn't make it out like he knows what's going on.
Right. So, but he's gonna bounce. He's like, I haven't said my vows yet, so I can leave.
Because this isn't what he wanted.
Yeah,
he's
he
not
wants to be a
way.
ranger. And Sam has to tell him, hey, dummy, look, like, the Lord Commander has personally asked you to be his steward. Sure, you're gonna have to do all the dumb shit, like, change his linens and make his fire and serve him his food and shit.
Empty the commode.
Right. But he wants you to be involved in all of his decision-making process. You're gonna be there in all of his meetings. You're gonna help him draft his letters and read his letters and all of that fun stuff. The stuff that I'm going to do for Maester Aemon, you're going to do for the Lord Commander, because he's grooming you personally to take over for him. And Jon's like, oh, I get it now. So even the bastards in the Stark line are dumb.
It comes with the name, though. It comes with the bloodline.
It comes with the blood. Apparently the dumbness comes in the blood.
I don't know if it's a matter of being dumb, but a matter of being more prideful than they should be.
Cocksure.
Yeah, that's it.
So Jon's like, okay, fine. So I guess I'll hang around. And so the Lord Commander tells them that they will take their vows at nightfall in the Sept, in front of the Septon, but then asks if anybody keeps to the old gods. Which Jon stands up and says, I do.
He's the only one.
He's the only one who stands up, and Lord Commander says, I assume that, like your Uncle Benjen, you'll want to take your vows in front of the heart tree. And Jon's like, yes, of course, because I don't follow no southern gods. And then Sam stands up and is like, I would like to take my vows in front of the heart trees as well. And Lord Commander Mormont looks at him like, what the fuck? Like, aren't you like a seven gods kind of kid? And he's like, well, yes, I was named in the light of the seven, just like my father and all of the fathers before them. But the gods seem to have shit on me, so I'm going to go ahead and give some new gods a try.
Seems to work out for him, though.
That's fine. So that's cool. So Sam's like, yeah, we'll give it a shot. We'll do it in front of the heart tree. Why not? Maybe I can get some gods that'll actually like me.
Yeah.
So at dusk, Jon and Sam and Bowen Marsh head off north of the wall to a grove of weirwood trees that are about a half a league into the haunted forest.
Yep.
And they get there.
They took the ghost with them.
They took Ghost with them, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And which Ghost, we'll talk about Ghost later, because Ghost, there's some interesting imagery with Ghost later on.
Okay.
And they get there, and then just as night is gathering, Jon and Sam take their vows and rise, men of the Night's Watch. And then as it's getting dark, Bowen Marsh says that there's a foul smell upon the air. He pulls a Gandalf. And Ghost comes traipsing through the weirwoods with a black hand severed from a body in his mouth.
That's disgusting.
And that's where we leave off at the end of the chapter.
Cliffhanger! Way to end it, George.
Yep, good job. You had a question you wanted to talk about from the first sentence of the chapter.
Yeah, what the fuck is a blood sausage?
It
sounds disgusting.
Yeah, so this is like in the Daenerys chapter, Jorah was eating a blood pie.
Yeah.
And then in this chapter, Jon's eating blood sausage. Like, are like these people fucking Klingons? Like,
I have no idea. I mean, I understand when you cook meat, there's still, like, blood in it. That's why they're still fucking red. But normally when...
Yeah, but not sausage.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
chicken.
if you cook sausage correctly, it's not supposed to be pink at all.
Yeah, because it gets ground up.
Well, yeah, but, like I'm saying, if you cook it properly, there's not supposed to be any pink in it.
Yeah, you cook the blood out
like,
of it.
Yeah. But, like, beef, depending on how you like your steak, I like mine medium, so
like
there's
always
it's always a little bit red.
Yes, Lady Wyvern likes her steak still mooing.
Yeah, and you like yours fully cooked. That's too bad for my teeth.
Which is why I'm not a big fan of steak, because the only way I can eat it is, like, well done. And steak really isn't that good well done.
Yeah,
so
no.
I'm just not a big steak fan. So.
Yeah. So I really want to know what the hell's in a blood sausage.
Yeah, it sounds disgusting.
It does sound disgusting. Like, I can just imagine, like, it's red everywhere and...
Yeah, like, blood, like
they actually, like...
Yeah,
like, mix the blood in with the meat, and it's like, no, thank you.
Yeah, like, I imagine that, like, if you're, like, the shitty low-level Night's Watch person, like, maybe the Lord Commander gets good sausage.
Yeah.
Right? But I have a feeling that, like, the low-level shitty people in the Night's Watch, which Jon still is, I have a feeling that their blood sausage is probably more like a hot dog, where it's, like, all of, like, the leftover shit from the animals after you've gotten all the good meat off of it and whatnot. All that leftover shit is kind of just like dumped into a fucking grinder.
And it's just used to fatten them up.
Ground into a piece of whatever and then just like made into sausage.
Hot dogs and apple cakes. That sounds like a really nasty meal. But see, I was thinking blood sausage was like, you know how when we make sausages these days, there's all these spices and the oil and everything that's in it to make it juicy. So they just add extra blood from the animal.
I would imagine so, yeah.
To keep it moist so it's not so dry. But that's still disgusting.
I still imagine that the sausage part is still made from like the shitty entrails of the fucking animals.
Probably, yeah.
And like the Lord Commander gets like the good cuts of
well, yeah,
it's
from the front of the pig and not the end of the pig.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The low-level schmucks get the fucking ass end of the pig.
Yeah, literally.
And it's probably not
look, I found the colon!
It's probably not even all pig. Like, it's probably like, the blood sausage is probably like, like a third cow, a third horse, and a third pig with like chicken giblets and gizzards thrown in there.
I can't even say, I can't really even, I mean, I'm grossed out by it, but I like sausage, but I won't eat hot dogs anymore, and it's just, it's too gross to think about these days.
Well, plus, hot dogs taste like bags of salt.
They do. Liquid bags of salt, which is really gross.
Yeah. I used to be a big fan, but...
Yeah. No. Not anymore.
Nope, not really.
Nope.
All right, so that's our good discussion on fucking blood sausage. Yuck. Let's put it this way. I don't want Jon's breakfast.
No, I don't either. Nope. I don't even want the apple cakes.
The apple cakes I can do. Oh, you don't like cooked fruit.
I don't like cooked fruit, no.
I will totally be fine with the apple cakes.
All right.
I imagine those are like apple fritters. That's what it seems
like to me.
I would imagine.
I don't like warm apples.
Yeah.
It's just really weird texture to me.
Yeah, but that's what I assume that is, like an apple fritter.
Yeah.
It's like a fried apple fritter, most likely.
Probably,
cheap and easy to make.
Yeah, just roll it in the dough and stick it in the oil.
Mm-hmm. So.
And then Sam comes over to join him for breakfast.
Sam's fucking excited.
He's bouncing around like a little kid.
Yep. Sam gets to graduate.
Yay!
He's moving on up.
Moving on up.
To the top. And he gets to help out Maester Aemon. Surprise, surprise.
So he already knows where he's going.
Yes, he was told that he would be helping out Maester Aemon with the reading and the writing.
I wonder
where did that idea come from?
I don't know.
Jon seems to have no idea what's going on. Because he's like, no, truly. You get, wow.
Seriously? Wow.
Awesome. All right.
Feigning complete surprise.
Yeah. And Sam seems incredulous to the idea that he's actually graduating because he's like, is it time to go yet? Because I don't want to be late in case they change their mind.
Yeah, like, he might be afraid they're playing some kind of trick on him.
Right.
Kind of
well, that's something that fucking Alistair Thorne would certainly do.
That's exactly something Alistair would definitely do.
Uh-huh.
I could see Alistair doing that and then just laughing at the little piggy.
Right, as he walks out of the sept, like all dejected and shit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think George Mormont would do that.
Oh, no.
But Sam doesn't know that because he's scared of all the commanders.
Yeah.
Most of all, George Mormont.
I don't know why, but...
Well, because he's a big bear.
Oh.
Big, tough guy.
Rawr.
Rawr. Exactly. Plus, Sam's just afraid of everything. He's a craven.
That's true, yeah.
So...
Yeah. I mean, he's been there less time than the other guys have, but it's definitely safer for him to graduate and move on so he doesn't die at the hand of the other kids.
And Sir Alistair.
And I say kids because they haven't graduated yet.
Right.
They're not men yet.
And some of them could be men.
Yeah, I don't care. They're still kids. They haven't graduated.
Right. So, yeah. So, Sam...
where's Widow? There's a weather report.
Oh, well, why don't you go ahead and grace us with the weather report?
No, I just thought it was funny. It says warm and sunny.
It's a beautiful day at the wall.
Yeah.
I'm sure the wall is weeping.
The wall is weeping. Yes, it is. Yep.
There you go.
Yep. We do get that later, though. The ice is sparkling and shining.
Beautiful.
Yep. It's a gorgeous day at the wall.
I'm going to insert the weather report music here and then just go, no weather report for you.
We haven't had weather report music in a while.
We haven't had weather report music in a while. We haven't really had weather report in a while.
I remember her last week doing one.
Yeah, well, we didn't talk.
We're not too keen on the weather report, are we? That's true.
The episodes we recorded last weekend haven't been released yet,
That's true.
We'll see. Maybe we'll do some weather report music in one of them.
So is the Sept kept up a little better than the rest of the towers?
It seems like it probably is. Like, it's got the crystal in it and everything.
Nice little rainbow crystal.
Yeah, like, I imagine that the Sept in there doesn't have much else to do besides keep the Sept up.
Right, but I mean, like, it's not, like, rickety and falling apart.
Well, I assume that the whole castle is rickety and falling apart.
Well, yeah, I do, too. I mean, I picture the whole thing, like I said in an earlier episode.
Like
I
Archimedes
imagine
Tower.
Yeah, and the
Sword in the Stone.
Sword in the Stone.
Yeah.
I just blowing in the wind.
But yeah, so I imagine that on the outside it looks just as decrepit as the rest of the castle does. But at least on the inside. But yeah, I think the inside of the Sept is probably nice.
Yeah.
It seemed, well...
We don't really get much of its description except for the crystal that's hanging in the middle, which
There's always a crystal in the middle of the Sept.
Yeah.
It's like a focusing of powers thing. It's actually a
very pagan thing.
Well, it's actually a throwback to, or an allusion to Lovecraft.
Yes, that would make sense. Yeah.
Because there's one of his stories, there's a 7-sided room with a crystal in the middle and 7 chairs.
Oh, the 7. Oh, the 7. Okay.
So yeah, like the Septs and stuff are very Lovecraftian.
Yeah.
In their appearance and what's in there and things like that. So
that makes sense.
There's like 7 faces for the 7 gods or 7 statues for the 7 gods.
Yeah.
A 7-sided pedestal, 7 chairs, a 7-sided crystal.
Interesting.
So there's a lot of Lovecraft inside the Septs.
Interesting.
Yep, which is fascinating. But yeah, so I imagine the outside is just as run down as Archimedes Tower and the rest of Castle Black.
So is there 7 sides to the tower?
I don't know if
because I know in King's Landing the Sept has 7 sides.
The Sept is actually a Sept, right? It's actually a septagon, right? I don't know if maybe like the inside they built 7 walls or something, or if they've just divided a circle into 7.
Okay.
Like I don't know as though the tower itself was built to have 7 sides.
Okay.
It's probably just either a round or a square tower.
Yeah, and they probably just put like 7 angular benches in it and went from there.
Right, exactly. So
John and Sam walk in, and everyone else is surprised that Sam is there.
Yeah, shocker.
Yeah.
How did this happen?
Yep. Pip's mouth drops open. Toad pokes Grin in the ribs. Everyone's staring, and nobody says a word. Yeah. The Septons swing. What's it called? A censer? The thing that holds like the fragrant smoke or whatever.
Yeah, whatever they're called.
Yeah, I've seen them in movies. I don't know what they're called, but, just burn some sage and call it a day.
Yeah, exactly. He's burning some sage to get rid of the shit.
Yep.
And so Lord Mormont...
And the Septon's sober. For once, the Septon seems sober. I love it.
His name. Septon Celadar.
Yeah, that's unusual.
Yeah.
But
it's pretty interesting.
I don't know if it has any meaning to you. It doesn't to me, but I just think it's a weird name. But there's all kinds of weird names in these books.
Very true. And then Lord Mormont goes into a speech, which is, I guess, flattering and not flattering to the recruits at the same time.
Yeah, right.
It's like, you came to us as rapists and murderers and thieves and scumbags and pieces of shit.
Yep.
And you're still all that, but you're also men of the Night's Watch now.
Yeah. Yep. But some of you came with names of royal houses and...
Yeah, or bastards' names. Or no names at all. So I guess that settles some people just don't have names.
Yeah.
Or no names at all, so...
Yep, no matter what it is, it's all in the past because now we're all one house.
Right.
Basically.
And it seems to me that he just gives the same generic speech every time.
He might, yeah.
Because as far as I know, there's no, like, true-born lordlings. Oh, no, there is. There's Sam. Okay.
Yeah, Sam is a true-born lordling.
So maybe he doesn't just give the same
Benjamin
speech every
Stark was
time.
a true-born lordling.
But what I mean is in this class.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I was just thinking of John, who just has a bastard's name. And everybody else is, like, lowborn.
Yeah.
So, but no, Sam came with a real name.
Yeah.
So maybe he doesn't just use the same generic speech every time.
He might, though.
But he might. So
I mean,
he probably does.
It's got to be hard to try and remember different ones every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Considering they probably graduate guys every, like, 6 weeks with the amount of people that are going disappearing behind the wall.
I would say several months.
I was being sarcastic.
Yeah, because I mean, you figure the events of King's Landing we're like 6 months into Ned being there. So I imagine that, like, John's been at the wall for a good 6 months now in his training. So he tells them that they're going to meet back here in the Sept.
Yep.
At nightfall, and they're going to take
their vows. Or is it even fall? Because they have to be there when the sun's still up, so they can be where they need to be when the sun goes
night
down.
gathers. Right.
Yeah.
So they're gonna. So just before nightfall.
Okay.
Sunset time.
Okay.
So, and that they will say their vows in front of the Septon, as well as the leaders of the individual orders that they've been assigned to. And then he goes through and tells each of them where they're going to be.
Yep.
The only shocker in the whole list is that Jon Snow is not going to be a ranger.
Yeah.
He's going to be a steward.
Poor Jon.
To which he's not happy.
Well, no, because it's beneath him, which is hilarious because he's a bastard.
But he's the best fighter of the group, which is totally true.
But it's made him really cocky. But then again, he's a teenage boy. He's 15.
Exactly.
So, he's the most popular kid in school.
How cocky Theon is, and he's a prisoner.
I know. It's all thanks to the Starks. The Starks cause it all.
Starks.
I know. It really is. So he's all pissed off. He storms off all pissy.
Goes to talk to Maester Aemon.
He was heading to talk to Maester Aemon again?
He talked to Maester Aemon, right, because he's like, why am I being made a steward? Instead of a ranger. And he's like, so he's like getting all like really defensive and shit. And he's like, so what am I supposed to do? Like change the Lord Commander's sheets? And Maester Aemon's like, well, yes, of course. Stoke his fire at night? Well, yes, of course. Bring him his food? Well, yes, of course. And then John's like, what do you take me for? And Maester Aemon's like, we took you for a brother of the Night's Watch.
Yep. Yeah, and they played this really well in the TV show. It was almost word for word. It was really well done.
They did one of the scenes that they did a really good
job on. So as I was reading this, I was playing the scene from the TV show in my head because, I have no imagination and I can't do it myself.
Yep. Yeah, so John, Maester Aemon, and Sam played this whole thing, this set of scenes right here out really well in the TV show, absolutely.
Yeah. So
John storms off.
Yep.
And he's gonna go home. He's gonna go the fuck home. He's done with this shit. He can't be a ranger.
I didn't get what I wanted, yeah.
Yeah, if I'm not gonna be a fucking ranger, then I'm not gonna stick around here. Like, you all are stuck here. I'm not. Like, I can go.
Pretty much.
Before I take my vows.
Well, the other guys can go, but then they just have to go answer to their crimes.
Rearrested for the shit that they did, exactly.
Yeah, they have to answer to their crimes.
Right. Like, I mean...
Or Sam just dies.
Right, or Sam could, like, run off and just go live somewhere else. Like, I have a feeling at this point that, like, Sam could, like, go live with Jon at Winterfell.
Yeah. Yep. His dad would be pissed. His dad would send someone to kill him, I'm sure, though.
Yeah, I don't think Randall Tarly is dumb enough to send somebody to kill his son in the home of the Hand of the King.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Now, it would be interesting with Sam living in Winterfell with the Starks, given that Randall Tarly is a bannerman to the Lannisters.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Right.
That'd be fucking hilarious. I would pay big money to see that.
Yeah, so that could get interesting. But so Sam tells Jon, look, Yes, they made you a steward, but because Lord Commander Mormont specifically requested you.
Yes.
Like, and you're a big dummy, just like your dad.
An arrogant dummy, so he can't see past his own desires.
Yeah, you don't see, like, what an honor you're being given.
Yeah.
Like, you see it as being a steward, which you have to do all the steward's work, and you don't get to be a famous warrior.
But you get so much more than just cleaning.
He wants you to learn from him. He wants you to get the lordly training that Rob got at Winterfell. Mm-hmm. From him here at the Wall, because he's grooming you to take over for him.
And this goes right back to the conversation we had a few episodes ago, where we were talking maybe this whole thing was planned and Jon didn't know it. He was just being pushed in the right direction ever so slightly.
Right, and
we basically get the answer right here.
Well, I don't know. I don't think we get the answer.
Well, more for the theory.
Yeah, like, I mean, it still could have just been that Lord Commander Mormont saw potential in Jon, and him and Maester Aemon both saw potential in Jon and his leadership skills and his skills of deduction and reasoning and the fact that his mind was as deft as his blade type of thing. Or it could have been the plan from the very beginning.
Well, it's very good evidence towards that theory that we had.
I still get a sense that Ned might have sent word either by Raven or through Benjen about Jon's need to be trained in, lordly ways.
Yeah.
And that Jeor Mormont might have agreed to that.
And that no matter what war came, no matter how it ended, Jon would have what he needed to
fight
to rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I still think, see five episodes ago for the full discussion on that, but.
Was it 5 episodes ago?
It was somewhere around there. I don't know.
Was it a Jon chapter or an Eddard chapter?
I think it was Jon's last chapter.
Okay, Jon 5.
Yeah, I think it was Jon 5, if I'm not mistaken. Where we talked about
I'll have to go back and listen.
I'll put it in the show notes which chapter to look at.
Okay.
I think it was Jon 5. So. But then, so Sam convinces Jon to hang around. Look, you're going to be in charge.
It's not going to be as bad as you make it.
It's not going to be that bad. Like, you don't have to die. Like, you'll be relatively safe.
Yeah, because as long as the Lord Commander's not in war, you're not going to be either. Because you're going to be a squire, too.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. Which is good. I mean, he's going to learn from...
Yeah, the best.
Not only the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, but a former Lord of a house.
Yep.
He ran Bear Island.
Yep.
The Mormont family. So...
Now, this is Jorah's dad, right?
This is Jorah's dad. Yeah.
Did he join the Night Watch willingly?
Well, there's the question.
Okay.
Why is Jeor Mormont in the Night's Watch? So, from what the text tells us in a plain reading, he basically chose to retire to the Night's Watch.
That sounds a little sketchy, though.
Right. Like,
nobody just chooses to retire to the Night's Watch because that's not retirement.
If you're the Lord of a house, you don't just give up being Lord of the house.
Right.
Like, you stay until you die.
Right.
And then your heir takes over.
Right.
You don't just decide to retire. And if you are going to retire, you retire to, like, the Summer Isles.
Right.
Or somewhere nice.
So is he Lyanna's grandmother?
Grandfather.
Grandfather. Yeah. So, like, is Jorah her uncle?
Yes.
So it was his sister that died. It was his sister that was running Bear Island that died.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah. So, yeah, the question is, why the fuck is Jeor Mormont at the fucking Wall?
That's a really good question.
Yeah. Like, he's there for a reason.
Nobody retires.
Obviously. Right. So, did something happen?
Right.
That Ned basically forced him to take the Black?
He wouldn't have done it because he couldn't get to Jorah, could he?
No. The Jorah thing happened after Jorah took over for Jeor.
Okay.
When Jeor went to the Wall.
Okay.
That all happened after that.
Okay.
When Jorah was actually the Lord of Bear Island.
Okay, and then he got caught smuggling people.
He got caught selling slaves.
Yep, so he was excommunicated and his sister took over.
And his sister, right,
yep.
Mage.
Yep.
Well, actually, Jeor's sister, Mage, took over.
Jorah
was an only child.
Aunt.
Yes, Jorah's aunt.
Okay, so Jorah and Lyanna are cousins then.
Something
I'm just trying to figure out all the.
Lyanna's in charge.
I'm just trying to figure out the.
For right now, at the current time, Mage is in charge. Mage Mormont is in charge.
Okay.
Because she hasn't gone off to battle and died in war yet.
Okay. And Mage is Jorah's sister. Or aunt.
Aunt.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Whatever. The family trees
I'm
confusing.
just trying to keep...
They're at the end of the books if you want to read them.
Oh, are they?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
But, so yeah, I've often wondered why he's there.
Right.
At the wall. He also has a very strong dislike for his sister Mage. Even though she is in charge of Barrowline. Like, you'll see in later conversations between Jon and GR that he very strongly dislikes Mage Mormont. So, my thinking...
Are they half-siblings?
No, they're brother-sister.
Okay.
But my thinking is that Mage did something.
To get him kicked out.
And because he was the Lord of the House, it fell on him to pay the price for it.
Oh, that would make sense.
And then the price to be paid was him going to the wall.
And then she got control over the island.
Right, because she would be next in line. Well, actually, Jorah got control.
Oh, right.
Because he was the heir. And then
he got
excommunicated. And so then it would go to... Right, so it's like, if like Joffrey and Tommen and Myrcella died, then Stannis would be next in line. Because there's no more heirs,
Supposedly.
So he becomes the next heir.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why Mage is in charge.
Right, because if Myrcella lived, whoever she married would get it.
No.
No.
She would get it.
They do that?
She would be queen. I mean...
They let women do that?
Whoever she married wouldn't be king. Like, if you look at, like, the British monarchy, right, the queen's husband is not the king.
Okay.
The queen's husband is a duke.
Oh, okay.
So he can't rule.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
So even if, like, the whole royal family died, except for him, he couldn't be king.
Right. Because he wasn't bloodline.
Right. He's not a bloodline descendant. Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep. So yeah. I wonder if the Mage did something that would lead to GR being sent to the wall. We
might figure out, we might not.
So hopefully we'll get that information at some point. Why was GR at the wall?
Yeah.
Because it seems very weird and odd that he would just choose to retire and go be at the wall.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see how that plays out. But anyway, so Jon will be basically groomed as his next in command, his next in line to succeed him as Lord Commander.
He has no idea how lucky he really is.
He really doesn't. I mean, it's going to get him killed eventually, but...
He may not stay dead.
Maybe not. Maybe he does. Who knows?
I said may not.
So then, after all that... Well, before that part, GR asks if anybody wants to... Oh, we did talk about Sam and Jon.
Yep.
Going north. So after that whole thing, then Sam and Jon and Bowen Marsh,
yep,
who is the Lord of the Stewards, the number one, the top steward guy,
yep,
they head north of the wall.
They go through the tunnel.
Yep, they go through the tunnel.
It is claustrophobic.
Yep, Jon thinks
cold.
Jon thinks of it as a crypt. A little foreshadowing. It feels like a crypt
is
to Jon. It feels like a tomb underneath the ice. I have a feeling that Jon's dead body is going to be put into one of those ice cells built into the wall.
You think so?
So essentially a tomb of ice.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's a little creepy.
So I call a little foreshadowing that he's thinking of the tunnel under the wall as a crypt, as a tomb.
It's really creepy.
Yeah.
And they bring Ghost with them.
Of course, Jon brings Ghost.
Yep.
Give him
give him some room to run.
A ghost is an animal from above the wall.
Yeah.
So, and B, of course, Jon's going to bring him.
Yeah.
Give him some time to run around.
Yeah.
And also a little extra protection for them.
Oh, yeah.
Scares the piss out of fucking Bowen Marsh's horse, though.
Well, see, Widow was pointing out that there was something in the book that one of the words that they use was wickered for the horses when it got scared by the wolf. But according to Widow, wickered is not a scared noise they make. So I don't know. But I don't know enough about horses.
Here's the line I was talking about earlier. The air was colder than a tomb and more still.
Yeah, that's still creepy.
He felt a strange relief when they emerged into the afternoon light on the north side of the wall.
So he's claustrophobic.
So awesome.
That's also tons and tons and tons of weight over his head.
Yep, absolutely.
It's like going through the Lincoln Tunnel.
Okay, so the horse gave a soft, breathy whinny. So the dictionary in the Kindle says for Wickard, special usage of a horse, give a soft, breathy whinny.
Okay.
So it made a noise.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was startled.
Okay.
That's what it reads like to me.
Okay. Well, that's what it read like to me, but okay, that's fine. She asked me to point it out, but I don't know enough about horses.
Yeah.
So
I mean, a whinny is like a noise that a horse makes, like a startled.
That's all right.
Whinny. So I mean, whatever. I'm not a horse person either, so
yeah.
I don't know, but I've seen enough westerns to know when the horse whinnies.
Yeah.
So it's making a noise. And it says special usage in the Kindle, so maybe they used it specially for this
Probably, yeah.
book. Who knows? But so they head into the haunted forest.
Yep. And John says it reminds him very much of the woods back home.
Yep, the Wolf's Wood.
But it feels different.
Yes, it has a different feeling to it.
It probably feels heavier if it's haunted.
It feels darker, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the haunted forest for a reason, so
yeah.
It feels stranger here at the end of the world.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
And so they ride up to the Weirwood Grove where they're going to take their vows.
No horses are allowed inside.
So Bowen Marsh says, leave the horses here. This is a sacred place. We will not defile it.
Yep.
And so I wanted to look and see like the history of Bowen Marsh.
Okay.
And his family's from the north.
Are they?
So that's why he would consider it a sacred place.
Okay.
Because like somebody from the south who
wouldn't give a shit.
The site of the Seven wouldn't give a shit about defiling.
So they're his
Weirwood
gods
Grove.
too.
Right. So they're his gods too.
Well, that's convenient.
Yep. So probably why he's the one who went.
Yeah. Well, that and he's the Lord of the
Stewards and Sam and John are both going to be stewards. Yes. But yeah, so 2 reasons why he would go.
Yep.
And there are 8 weirwood trees.
Yep.
Or 9. 9 weirwood trees.
Because there's 8 less in the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Weird. Budget.
Probably budget, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of CGI. It's a really fancy fucking tree.
Yeah.
And they all have faces on them. They all have different faces on them.
With blood red eyes.
Is it blood red eyes or are they bleeding out of their eyes?
Well, they're blood red eyes. So and
there's red crusties.
The globules look like rubies.
Oh, so the sap is red.
Yes. Which is why the faces have red eyes and red mouths.
Yep.
Or is it blood?
Bloody sap.
Trees live on blood.
Well, that and the leaves are red too. Like,
yeah. So.
Like they even describe in the book, like there's a layer of red leaves, and underneath that, it's all black from decaying leaves. So.
Yeah. So could it be blood?
It'd be really creepy, though.
The weirwood trees eat blood.
I know, they need a blood sacrifice.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about the eating people.
That's essentially what it is, right? I mean, that's because it needs something to keep it alive, and its sustenance is...
It's the blood sacrifice?
Yeah, blood sacrifices.
Is there a pool of black water around?
Well, no, but that would probably be underground.
Right. Well, I was just asking, because Ned's Weirwood has
that's the only one we've seen that has the pool above ground.
Yeah.
It's right there. Which also, I think, denotes something special about Winterfell and its relationship to the weirwood trees.
Yeah.
The fact that basically the river Styx has
an opening
there at Winterfell.
Right.
Something interesting going on with that. Probably related to the crypts and all sorts of interesting things.
Probably, yeah.
And so Sam is like, they're watching us. The gods.
Fuck yeah, they are.
And John's like, yep, you better fucking believe it, bitch.
Yep, everywhere you turn it, they're still looking at you. It's like they've always got an eye on you when you're there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's why they take their vows in front of it.
Yep.
Because they say, what does it start with? It's like,
are you looking
hear
at
my
vows?
words and bear witness to my vow is how their vows start.
Yep.
So the ones who are in the sept are saying that to the septon and to
the 7.
And well, to the 7, but then also to the leaders of their group.
Yep.
It would be the builders, the stewards, or the rangers. And so Jon and Sam are saying it to the old gods, to the weirwood trees.
Yep.
Now, remember how we talked before about the weirwood gate under the night fort?
Yes.
That will open if you say part of the Night's Watch vows?
Yes.
I wonder if it works for any member of the Night's Watch.
Or just the ones that take their vows at the weirwood?
Weirwood tree.
Ooh. That's a good point.
Because the Weirwood Network would see them and remember those people taking their vows. It doesn't see the ones that are in the Sept.
That's a good point.
So maybe the only reason Sam is able to get back beneath the wall...
And the raven's connected to all of these trees, right? Or is it just the one big one?
I think the raven, I think Blood Raven is connected through the weirwood, through the entire network. So
he sees all of these people.
Right.
So does he like control the door?
I don't know if he controls the door.
Because it's technically like, it's a chopped down weirwood, right?
The door is older than him.
Okay.
So maybe the person who's in that seat always controls the door.
Right.
Or if it's just the weirwood trees themselves, the old gods.
Right.
That control the door.
Well, because you've said in other theories with, back when it was, a Catelyn chapter in the Eyrie, we were talking about the weirwood throne, how it's made out of weirwood, and you think that it's, whispering to... Singing to little Robert.
Because the souls of the dead children of the forest
and
the dead greenseers are trapped in the weirwood.
Right. So would it be similar to the door here?
That's entirely possible. The door, we see the door, but the door might not even be a dead weirwood. It just you might actually like pass through a weirwood.
Like a portal?
Big giant weirwood.
That's true too.
So either way, but yeah, so I just wonder if only members of the Night's Watch
with the old gods
who take their vows in front of heart trees, weirwood trees, can then use that door.
I guess we'd have to see what religion the people that have gone through it are.
Right, well, because we see Sam, but we can't use him because we know Sam took his vows in front of the weirwood trees here.
Right. The people that have come south of the wall, though.
Well, so Bran and, Bran and, Gilly, when they come south, they But
Bran's been in the God's Woods before.
But he's never taken the vows. You have to recite the Night's Watch vows, or a portion of the Night's Watch vows, to the door to get the door to open.
They are his gods.
But he doesn't know the Night's Watch vow. He's not a brother of the Night's Watch.
So how did he get through?
Sam let him through.
Sam said the words?
Yeah, because Sam knows the vows.
Oh, that's true.
And Sam has been born witness to taking the vow.
Okay.
So he's allowed to go through that weirwood gate. But I wonder if, Sir Alistair Thorne, who almost certainly just took his vows in the Sept, tried to get through that door if he could or not.
I'd laugh my ass off if he couldn't.
And we don't know.
That's true.
At this point, we still don't know if that's true or not. But I think that you have to have taken your vows in front of a weirwood tree in order for you to be able to get back and forth through that door.
That's some pretty cool tinfoil.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. So, I would love to see Sir Alistair get stuck behind the door.
Well, I mean, he can, if he can't get the door open, he can just go back out of the tunnel.
Right, but if he was chased into there and he couldn't get out.
Right, couldn't get through, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of funny, actually.
Wouldn't cry if that man died.
Poor Sir Alistair.
Yeah. So, I know there was a couple other things in this speech, or in these vows, that are worth talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, I know one thing you wanted to, or Widow wanted to talk about, was the parts that are left out in the TV show.
I don't know why she thought that was, what parts exactly were left out of the show?
To be honest, I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
Which lines were left out.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So I don't know how to compare them. I mean, the only thing I think of is make it sound cool, or if there's something to do with the vows that relates to part of the story that they're not going to use in the show,
right,
then they would leave out the lines that related to that.
I think the parts that you want to talk about are the parts that were not put in the show.
Interesting.
Now that I think about it.
Interesting.
Like the sentence, I think at the show it goes, I shall live and die at my post. I pledge my life and honor to the Night's Watch for this night and all the nights to come.
Let's give it a listen.
Okay.
All right, so upon checking YouTube...
Yeah, thank you, YouTube!
We have discovered that there are 3 clauses in the Night's Watch vows that are left out in the TV show.
Yes.
And it's kind of fascinating that these are the 3 lines that are left out.
And because these are the 3 lines that you want to talk about the most.
These are the 3 lines that I kind of want to talk about the most.
Yes.
Absolutely. Especially as it relates to one of these lines most likely being the words of House Dane that we still don't know yet.
So, do you want me to read the words that are taken out?
If you want to, yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to find it. I am the fire that burns against the cold, the light that brings the dawn, the horn that wakes the sleepers.
Yes. So it leaves those 3 out, and that's because the TV show kind of just ignored the Horn of Winter.
Yep.
And the dragon horns.
Yep.
Like, they just don't seem to have anything to do with the TV show whatsoever.
Right.
So, in the books, the horns seem to play an important part. The Horn of Joramun. Which is
I don't know what the horns are at all.
Which is supposedly supposed to break the magic of the wall.
Okay.
And allow the others to pass through the wall.
Like in the TV show, they break it with dragon fire.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So that's not a dragon horn at all.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. There is a dragon horn in the books as well.
Okay.
Victarion has it.
Okay, I don't know who that is, but that's all right.
He's a Greyjoy.
Okay.
So, the other lines that were left out, I am the fire that burns against the cold, and the light that brings the dawn.
Right.
That second one, I think, has to do with the words of House Dane. Obviously.
But no one knows the words of House Dane.
Nobody knows them yet. Right. So, my theory is that something along the lines of the light that brings the dawn are the house words of House Dane.
Okay, but
because they have dawn.
Right. They have the sword.
They literally bring dawn to a fight.
Yeah, they have the sword.
Right.
And what do they say about the sword when in the book?
What do you mean what do they say about the sword?
Like the sword isn't there something they say about the sword when the sword comes out, or is it similar to that, or?
Well, it's a shiny white sword that, like, glistens with starlight.
Okay.
So, like, dawn is a star.
Okay.
So I think that the House Dane's words have something to do with the light that brings the dawn.
But my question
which fades all the way back to the first battle for the dawn.
Okay.
Where the Night's Watch was supposedly formed. And they fought the battle for the dawn to end the long night and bring the dawn.
Okay.
So I think that House Dane, or at least the Sword of the Morning, is the light that brings the dawn.
Right. The Sword of the Morning was the group of people as a council?
The Sword of the Morning is the best, is a member of House Dane.
Okay.
Who is considered the best swordsman and honorable knight.
Okay, so it's like at
his time.
Okay, so
Arthur Dane was the last Sword of the Morning.
Was that Ashar's brother?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And so...
Well, my question would be, why would the vows for the Night Watch have just one house's words in it if it was more than one house that created the watch?
Maybe they were instrumental in the founding.
Okay.
Maybe dawn was the sword that ended the long night.
And you and I have talked about that.
Right. So
that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just happen to think, I mean, the reference to dawn is almost too obvious, I think, but I don't think so, especially since they kept it out of the TV show.
Right.
I think it certainly has something to do with House Dane.
It might.
And the dawn.
It might, especially since George R.R. Martin tells them what they can and can't put in the show.
Yeah, that the show is essentially fan fiction now, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said they've had to keep some things out of the show specifically.
Yeah.
Because the other books aren't out yet.
Yep. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I think that those are the House Dane's words, something along the lines of the light that brings the dawn.
It'd be really cool if,
Yeah.
because, like, every house has words, and I think they're the only house we don't know their words to yet.
Well, of, like, the major houses that have, like, major characters.
Right.
They're the only ones that, we know all the other, like, major houses.
Well, is there a major character for this?
Well, there's Arthur Dane, there's Ashara Dane.
Right, but they're not quote-unquote major characters.
They're big.
But they're big characters. But, like, they don't play it like an active role in the...
No, they don't have a POV character.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant.
No, but, we know... But, still, like... We don't have a Royce POV, but we know their words.
Yeah.
We don't have an Aaron point of view character, but we know their words.
Yeah.
And
because there's someone from the house that's in the
Right. It's just it's very convenient that we don't know the words of House Dane.
Yeah.
But we know the backstory of the house. We know a lot about the house. We know their sigil.
Yeah.
But we don't know their words.
That's true. I was just thinking back to after Bran woke up from his fall. I remember it was in the show. I'm trying to remember if it was in the books where Maester Luwin was teaching Bran a class, and he was trying to get him to recite the words of
the houses.
And I was trying to remember because I know they didn't mention Dorne, but
House Dane wasn't in the list.
Dane, not Dorne.
Yeah, House Dane is one of the houses in Dorne.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no.
No, I didn't. I knew they didn't mention it in the show, and I couldn't remember if they mentioned it in the book.
No. The words of House Dane have not been written in the book, in any of the books.
Well, no, I was just thinking because it'd be like George to say, "What are the words of House Dane?" and then something happens, and all of a sudden, look, they're on this whole other thing, and they've completely avoided answering this question.
Right. Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I think that they're important words because I think that the Starks and the Danes, particularly the Sword of the Morning, are inextricably linked to the Night's Watch.
It's a really good theory.
So.
Yeah, but I really want to know more about House Dane, but...
Yeah, so do I. I want to know lots more about House Dane. So.
Ashara!
So I want to know, maybe there always has to be a Dane at the wall.
Yep. Yeah, just like the Starks and the Targaryens and...
Right.
No, because there's not going to be a Targaryen there for a while. I can't say for a while because we only know of 2 Targaryens, and lo and behold, one of them dies.
Supposedly there's not going to be a Stark, because...
Benjen's missing, and...
Right. And Jon's not a Stark.
So the wall's falling apart. Because the houses aren't there to keep it together anymore.
Houses are not there in charge.
Yep.
There's not a Royce, because Waymar's dead.
Yep.
Benjen's gone missing. Jon isn't a Stark.
Yep.
Maester Aemon dies.
Yep.
All these First Men families.
There's no one there.
There's no one there.
That might have had something to do with the wall falling down.
Well, the wall hasn't fallen down in the books.
Well,
I don't think the wall's ever...
Well, no, I don't
think the wall's going to fall down in the books either.
It's getting more and more dilapidated. Is that the word?
Well, yeah, just because of the Night's Watch, it's just getting more and more dilapidated. The wall's fine, but I don't think the wall's going to fall down in the books. I think it's just dumb shit they did for the TV show. I don't literally think the wall's going to fall down.
I don't think... If it does come down, I don't think it'll come down like it did in the show.
If it comes down, I'm going to be sadly disappointed, because that's just way too literal.
Right. Okay, so they finish their vows.
Yeah, they finish their vows.
And they get ready to pack up and go home.
We got one more question about the vows.
Okay, what I miss?
Okay, so the Night's Watch guards a wall.
Yes,
the wall.
The wall.
In the north.
Yes. However,
their vows say, I am the watcher on the walls.
So there's more than one wall.
So apparently, at some point... or currently, that we just don't know about, they watch more than one wall.
Now, do they say walls in the TV show?
Yes.
They do?
Yes.
Okay.
So...
where's the other wall? Or other walls?
Yeah. or what were the other walls.
Yeah.
So there are a few theories that float around about what are the other walls.
Okay.
So if you look at a map of Essos,
the one that's labeled the known world. So
any map of Essos will have this on it.
Is there one labeled the unknown world?
Yeah, right. George, we need the unknown world map.
Give me the rest of the map. I want it.
I want to know what the fuck's over here.
Yeah.
Past the Shy and the Shadow. I want to know what's there.
That's Russia.
Yeah, exactly. Mongolia. Nobody knows about it. It's Age of Empires 2, where it's the unexplored area where you can't see anything, and the map is blacked out.
Yep.
So if you look at a map of Essos, way over to the right by the big red
mountains
lake thingy. No, that's
water.
A lake. Yeah, it's a lake.
Red Lake?
It's a red lake.
Is that Red Lake?
No, Red Lake is in Westeros.
Okay.
But so this is a red lake.
I wonder why the water's red.
Now, just go to the east of that red lake, and there's an area known as the Grey Waste.
It looks like it's covered in fog.
Right, or snow, perhaps. So there are theories that this Grey Waste, when you turn the map into a globe, connects up to the land of always winter.
But there's a set of trees there.
Well, there, yes, but not over here. We don't know what's over here.
Okay.
And there's trees up above the wall, too.
That's true. But I would think there'd be more snow covered the more north it went.
Well, yeah, but there could be more north here that we don't see yet before it connects over.
That is very true.
So we don't know, but there's the Grey Waste, which is where supposedly the beastly, evil lion god lives.
Lion god,
which is stolen from Lovecraft or borrowed from Lovecraft.
Okay.
So, and below that, between a set of mountains and that red lake, there are 5 forts made out of the fused black stone that Valyrian roads are made out of. The base of the high tower is made out of. It's the indestructible black stone.
The obsidian?
It's not obsidian, that's dragonglass. That's different. Okay. This is the fused black stone that you use dragon fire to meld the stone together into completely smooth. Storm's End is made from the black stone.
Okay.
So that you can't wind, there's no nooks or crannies at all for the wind to catch in it.
Okay.
It's perfectly smooth all the way around.
Okay. And
so there's these 5 forts that are 1,000 feet tall and can each hold 1,000 or 10,000 men.
Okay.
So some people speculate that might be the other wall blocking whatever comes south towards the north of Westeros from coming south through into Essos as well, because it stands to reason that the Long Night affected both Essos and Westeros.
Right.
So it's possible that the others also came that way.
Okay.
Through the Grey Waste and down into Essos.
Well, then I have a dumb question. There's a big blank area between the Red Lake and the top of the continent.
True. Maybe this is the way that they came.
Maybe, yeah.
And so that's why there's these forts there to protect against that happening again.
It's possible. Wasn't there another theory?
One of the other theories I've heard that I actually think is pretty fascinating and probably more likely true is that if you think about the name of Winterfell, it seems to be just this is where winter fell. It's most likely the place where the first battle for the Dawn ended and winter literally fell.
Yep.
So,
as in the end of winter, the end of the long night?
The end of the long night, the end of winter, the fall of the Great Other.
Okay.
And so, if that's true, then it's possible that the Night's Watch was formed first at Winterfell.
Okay.
Where humanity made its last stand in the north.
And won, apparently.
And defeated Winter. So, the Watchers on the walls could be the walls of Winterfell.
Okay, so they were just the guards that guarded the...
Well, they were the first Night's Watch, but their fallback, their place where they made their last stand was Winterfell.
Okay.
So, Winterfell has multiple walls.
Yeah.
And so that could be the walls that the Watcher on the walls is talking about.
I feel like there should be a third.
A third option?
A third option, yeah.
What do you got for us?
I have no idea. I don't know as much of the theories and the books from the books as you guys do, because I'm technically still only in the second book.
Right.
But,
you know, there's one other option that I've heard from, like, one or two places is, you see how above the wall here there's still this, like, green area?
the trees.
Yeah, the forest. Like,
Yeah.
there's still green area.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, then you get you get the land of always winter.
Yeah.
The other option
Iceland.
I had heard was that
Or Greenland.
basically like there was another wall further north
Okay.
that separated these warmer north areas from the land of always winter. So there's like a wall and then like a fallback wall.
Okay.
And we just don't know because we've never gone in a POV all the way to the land of always winter.
Right. That seems pretty dangerous.
Yeah, seems like a bad idea.
Yeah. Nobody wants to go to Antarctica.
No. The farthest we get.
Or, no, that's not Antarctica in the north. It'd be,
Arctica, Siberia.
yeah.
The North Pole. Santa Claus is up there.
Yeah.
The evil Santa Claus.
Evil Santa Claus. Krampus.
Krampus. Yeah. Krampus is up there in the land of always winter.
Yeah.
Funny as you may think, the evil legends of Sinterklaas and Krampus kind of do play into the mythology
Oh, really?
of again, A Song of Ice and Fire. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So.
That's funny.
Yep.
That's really funny.
But yeah, so it's just it strikes me. One thing is why is it the Watcher on the walls and not the wall? So
Yeah.
there has to have at some point
Right,
been
had more
other
than
walls that they were watching.
That's a really good point.
Yeah. So just one more thing from their vows that strikes me as odd.
I need to keep reading and watching videos and listening to podcasts and
Reading A World of Ice and Fire, that's a good one to
Yeah.
read. The encyclopedia.
well, I have to get through the books first.
Right. Is there any... we gotta... What happens at the very end of the chapter we have to talk about.
Oh yeah.
So after they say their vows...
Yep, they're getting up to leave,
Yeah.
and Ghost comes trampling into the sacred ground, and he's got something in his mouth.
Now, but first, before we see that he has something in his mouth, he comes through between the weirwoods.
Yep.
And Jon notes, white with red eyes. He looks like a weirwood tree.
Why?
Well, here's the thing. So, I think Ghost appears to be like left for Jon intentionally, right? So we know that like the weirwoods are like the physical representation of the old gods,
Right.
or seem to be.
Right.
So is it possible that Ghost is kind of like a living manifestation of the gods, purposely left for Jon Snow to help him in his quest to fight the wars to come and defeat the great other?
See, you say that and you make me think of the Stargate SG-1 episode where the Native Americans they were living on a planet with aliens, and the aliens took over the
Spirit gods.
the spirits.
Spirit animals.
Yep, and the one was a wolf and the other one was a
Hawk
hawk.
or something like that, yeah.
But he came to him as a puppy. I mean, he was
Yeah, but he was still pure white with red eyes, even as a puppy.
yeah. Well,
He still looked like a weirwood tree.
that's true. That's really weird. I don't know. I need more information.
Because, right, I mean, it's just, it's beyond miraculous that there was a wolf for all of the Stark children, plus an extra wolf for Jon Snow.
Yeah. And it wasn't with the others. It was aside from
Well, it was
the
there, but
others.
it had been chased away out of the pack, so we
Yeah.
assume. Or was it just
Or it
completely
wandered
separate?
away, or it was put there by the gods.
Right. Well, I think that all of the wolves were sent to the Stark children on purpose.
Well, yeah, that's more than likely.
And that Jon specifically got Ghost, this wolf that seems to have clear ties to the weirwood trees. I mean, just straight up, his physical appearance is very weirwood tree-esque. He's white
White
with
with
red eyes.
red eyes, yeah.
Yeah. which is the weirwood trees.
That's true.
So
that is true. I wonder if his blood's black.
Never know. It might be. I think Ghost is gonna die in the next book, unfortunately.
Oh no! Just let one wolf live.
Well, because here's the thing. So we know that when a skin changer dies, that they can transfer their consciousness into their animal.
Okay.
And then basically live what's called second life through their
Bran.
animal. And that with magic, they can be forced out of that animal.
So you think Ghost is going to die and somebody's going to form?
I think Jon is currently, now that he's dead, I think his spirit or his mind or his consciousness or whatever is in Ghost right now.
Okay.
And
as of where the books stand.
As of where the last book stands, I think that his body is dead and he is inside Ghost.
Okay.
And I think that most likely where they are right now in this grove of weirwood trees, some kind of magical rite is going to happen that's going to push Jon back out of Ghost, probably killing Ghost, and back into Jon's body.
So you think they're going to bring Jon's body to the weirwood trees after he dies?
Yes.
That would make more sense than just throwing him on a table in a room and leaving him locked in a room for a whole day.
Much more sense.
Yeah.
And I don't think Melisandre's going to have anything to do with raising Jon up.
I hope not.
I think it's going to be...
Because her storyline makes no sense to me in the show.
I think it's going to be Bran through the Weirwood Network. Because Bran is specifically told by Bloodraven not to raise the dead.
And he breaks every law anyways.
Right. So, that's a bad idea. Don't raise the dead. So that would indicate to me that Bran, as the new Bloodraven, will have the power through the Weirwood Network to raise the dead.
Interesting.
So I think that it's going to be Bran in that grove of weirwoods from his weirwood throne where Bloodraven is that pushes Jon back out of Ghost's body and into his own body to reanimate it. And that's how we're going to get Jon back to life.
I wonder if you say that Ghost is like a god in the wolf's body.
That's what
if Jon goes back into his body, does he take the god with him?
That's what I'm thinking.
Which kills Ghost?
That's what I'm thinking. Well, right. So if Jon goes into Ghost, yes, I think Jon's going to be more powerful, more magically powerful.
Right.
After he's resurrected.
Right.
Because he'll be like a zombie, right? He'll be like the undead.
Right.
He'll have already died and come back, which makes it harder to kill.
Yeah. Except for that one guy who died 7 times.
Right, but, he just died and came back, but...
7 times?
Yeah. Well, Beric Dondarrion.
What happened to being harder to kill?
Well... It's also, he's raised by different... Like I said, I don't think he's going to be raised by the Lord of Light, like Beric Dondarrion
that's
is.
True.
So, I don't think that... I think the two are going to be completely different.
Okay.
So, Beric Dondarrion seems more like the whites that are raised by the others.
Okay.
Just like the bodies with the blue eye guys.
Yeah.
Beric Dondarrion, I think, is more along those lines.
Okay. Even though his body's still warm?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, essentially, they're like ice whites. And so Beric Dondarrion... George has described Beric Dondarrion as a fire white.
Oh, okay.
So basically the warm version of the whites.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, I think Jon is going to come back almost like a god. Because I think Ghost is literally like a physical manifestation of the old gods. And I think that when Jon is pushed out of Ghost's body, he's going to bring some of that power with him.
That's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
I guess that book needs to come out so we can read it.
It does need to come out, goddammit.
Right?
Because if you look at the story of the last hero, his dog has to die. And that's part of the story, right? So his companions die, his dog dies, and then he's able to find the Children of the Forest, get what he needs to win the war.
Oh!
So his dog needs to die.
That's true.
Ghost needs to die.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but I think that's Ghost's purpose for over the whole story.
Well, that would make sense. I mean, it sucks, but it would make sense.
Yeah.
So.
Indeed. All right. So now that we've talked about that part and where I think that this setting is important.
Yeah.
Because we're probably going to end up coming back here in book 6.
Yeah.
To raise Jon from the dead. What does Ghost bring with him?
A black hand.
A black fucking hand. What the fuck?
Like black decomp or black dead, frozen dead.
Like dead cold turns black. Like frostbite turns your shit black after it like kills like the blood vessels and shit in it. So yeah. So it brings a blackened hand.
And that's where it stops.
And that's where we stop. Like, what the fuck? How about keeping the chapter? We just had like a 9,000 page long Eddard chapter.
Yep.
That like had like 4 chapters worth of shit thrown into it.
Yep.
And then we get a Jon chapter that's half a chapter.
Yeah. But you know what? It just makes you keep reading more.
That's true, because we get another Jon chapter very soon anyway.
Yeah, and the next one I think is Eddard too.
Yeah, and the next chapter is an Eddard chapter, Eddard 14.
Yeah. Which is what did you call it?
Well, it's where...
It's the one before he died. It's the one before his final chapter.
Yeah, it's the one where he tries to take the throne with his letter from Robert.
Right, but there's a word... There was a series of words you said this chapter was because it was the one before his final chapter.
Oh, his penultimate chapter.
Yes. That's it.
Yes, it's his penultimate chapter.
Yep.
Our penultimate Eddard chapter is the next chapter that
Maybe
we're going to go over.
Just title that one.
Ned's almost dead.
Ned's almost dead.
All right, so we need a name for our Jon chapter.
We didn't really come up with anything funny.
Not during the discussion. I have one in mind that I would like to use. Do you have one that you've thought of? No?
You know I never come... I never come up with anything... Well, I can't say I never come up with anything good, because I came up with Prego with Rego.
Yeah, you did. Nothing? So my thought was...
Mine really have to be, like, off the cuff at the moment.
Right.
And as much as I love podcasting with just you, there's not as much sarcasm to go around for my ingenuity to kick in.
Gotcha. All right, so my thought was, so apparently that's going to be it since it's the only one.
Well, if I don't like it, then it won't be. We'll have to come up with something else.
My thought was, what fucking walls?
I like it.
What fucking walls?
I like it.
All right, so Jon 6 will forever now be known as What Fucking Walls, because what fucking walls are we talking about? Yeah. There's obviously more than one. Like we said, our next chapter is Eddard 14. We're starting to really ramp up to the climax of the book.
Yep.
Which is going to be great. Widow should be back to join us for that one, I hope.
She better. He's just so busy.
If you want to be a cool person, like our Patreons.
Patrons! They're fucking patrons! Just because she can't get her words right doesn't mean you can't.
Just like our patrons on Patreon.
Thank you.
You can support the show for as little as $1 a month over at patreon.com/ironwood, where if you do the $1 a month level, you get early access to all the shows, the uncut, unedited versions, which there probably won't be one of this chapter because there's not much to cut out.
I know, there's not. I don't think there was any tangents.
There was no tangents.
There may just be a couple little editing things to do, but that's...
Yes, no tangents. It's just very minuscule editing to do. Amazing the difference a widow makes.
Don't get us wrong. We absolutely love Widow.
However, I much more enjoy editing these episodes.
Yeah, and only for editing
and
reasons.
It's literally only for editing purposes. Because it takes me like half the time.
Yeah, not even. This one's not even going to take you half the time.
No, this one's literally going to take me like 45 minutes to edit because I pretty much know where things need to be cut out and that's it.
Yeah.
So
We do this very
awesome.
well together.
Yeah. So, let's see. If you want to catch us online, you can go to IceAndFirePod.com. Links out to all of our stuff.
Yep.
I am on the Twitters at Maester Ironwood.
I'm at Lady_Wyvern, and Widow is at Widow Wolfsbane.
Yep, at Widow Wolfsbane.
Yep.
You can find us on YouTube and just search for Ironwood Network.
Yep.
Or you can find us on Facebook. Just search for Ironwood Network.
And if you just do hashtag IceAndFirePod anywhere,
It'll find
you'll find
most
us.
of our social media stuff.
Yeah.
Just Google iTunes ASOIAF podcast and you'll
ASOIAF.
find us right there on the first page of Google. ASOIAF.
Who was that? It was Devil's Fingers who
No.
tweeted that?
No.
It was,
I don't know. Somebody you follow.
it was one of them.
Yeah, somebody you
ASOIAF.
follow. Yep. And we pronounce it ASOIAF. Awesome. So until next time, when we check in with you guys in Eddard 14, have a good one. We'll catch you then.
Bye, guys.
Bye.